for, you must work for it. I think we need to bring that culture here, and people must understand you're being paid a salary to do a job. This job you're being paid for, you must be accountable. What is it that you have done? What is it that you can show for it? And about jobless, if we just use our systems very well, give the investors the necessary tools and concessions for them to come and invest here, we'll have more jobs than we can ever think. And then we bring in the law of making sure that our people the law is already there. We use the law to ensure that our people get the minimum, the basic minimum salary that the government has set. It's just that we have the laws and we are not implementing them. So for me, public participation is key. Commitment of the leaders to the jobs that they have been given is very important. And the youth, yes, I've heard you say, I think 5,000, 5 million registered, if I'm correct, and 8 million did not register. You know, your vote matters. And what I'm so happy about is that our young people, our youth have woken up. We cannot lie to them anymore. They see everything in black and white. They have told us very clearly they are not their parents. And that one, I can see it, and I saw it a long time ago. So for us as leaders, we need to be accountable. Number one, we must listen to our people. And communication is key. And when you're talking to your people, just know your people are your bosses. Ile mshahara unakula kwa nyumba yako, hao watu ndio wametoa taxes zao kukulipa. Kwa nini usiwasikize? And then, if we listen to you, also let us, and I've seen you're reasonable people. You know, communication is very important. If we sit down and agree and have concession on some areas, then it will be good for all of us. It cannot just be one-sided. And me now, I'm talking as Wavinya. Yeah? Mimi Wavinya nilete yangu kwa meza kama governor. For example, watu wa Machakos walete yao kwa meza, tuongee. Sisi wote tutafute solution. Na ile solution tutachukua, all of us should take responsibility of that
Governor,
decision.
Allow me, my apologies to I don't like doing this, but I think it's important. It is good for you to give your opinion as Wavinya Ndeti.
I'm giving as Wavinya. Yes. Sorry about that.
But at the same time, Governor.
Yes.
To whom much is given, much is expected.
Yes.
You're in a position of responsibility.
Yes.
And you have the ear of the authority.
Yes.
And you have the power to be able to implement some things. What are the tangibles we can speak about that are geared towards ensuring that the ordinary person, other than saying that, we are hearing them, what are we doing to alleviate the suffering of our people? You see, when people are employing, for instance, let's say the Machakos County is recruiting, half the time the people who get jobs are not even the people who are qualified. And I'm not saying that's what it is in your situation. However, we have seen in this country, we have public positions, government positions are given to people sometimes who are not qualified, but who are well connected. How do we solve that problem? It's a long-term problem that Kenyans have suffered. How do we ensure that we get the best and reward them for exactly what they have and not because you know someone?
Number one,
I want to hear such things.
Can I tell you, apart from the leaders, even the people who are given those positions, to make sure that they do proper balancing, they don't. Some of them are also corrupt. Yeah? Some of these employment boards, you can go, maybe, and that's a fact. Now I'm talking as Wavinya. You look at the leaders, I give you, I give you, let's say I give somebody a responsibility to go and employ. Sasa, wao wanaenda kupanga mambo yao huko. Vile umesikia huyo msichana analia hapo. maneno ya kuambiwa. And if I ever, kama mimi Wavinya nikishika mtu na hiyo, I'm telling you for free, I'll deal with them, because mtoto anaenda anatafuta kazi, kiongozi amepatia some members of the country work to go and make sure that they employ people. There, they themselves also start discriminating, and also what the young girl has said, asking for money for employment. I think we need to look at all ourselves, from the leaders to the people who are given responsibility, because some of them are even, I can tell you for free, they're even more corrupt than the leaders. And if you're not a leader that tries to be hands-on, unaweza kuchafuliwa sana. So every leader should poke their nose. You must be a hands-on leader.
So, Governor Ndeti, to that point about being hands-on, I wanna push you on something you just said about some people being corrupt and what have you, because this is something I've always wanted to say to Kenyan politicians and African politicians in general.
Yes.
And I feel like we always talk about African problems as if they are purely just issues of morality. And they are not. They are issues of humanity. It's not as if there are no corrupt people in the United States. You've lived in England. It's not as if there's no corruption or criminality in the United Kingdom. They are there. But the difference is this. The difference is that there are systems in place to ensure that people adhere. When you pass policy, you also consult social scientists that are going to tell you whether this policy, how to implement it to make sure that there is uptake of a policy. So let me ask you one question, because this is something that I think we have really neglected ever since we gained independence. So by the way, not just this government. I think what Kenyans are talking about, and Governor, to really take this into heart. Kenyans are not just talking about this government. Kenyans are talking about the fact that Kenya has not worked for Kenyans, and it didn't start yesterday. It didn't just start with this government. It started long before even we got independence, because it was working for the Mkoloni before that. And what we are discovering is that it has continued to work for the Mkoloni. The one thing that that they do is that there is not a single department in any government department there's not a single government department either in the United Kingdom or anywhere in Western Europe or the United States that is not fully staffed with several positions of social scientists to ensure that they are studying the likelihood of policies being taken up. You cannot pay people non-living wages. You cannot pay people 20,000 shillings. And Governor, you cannot go to Quickmart and fill a cart, a shopping cart, and leave Quickmart without paying more than 20,000 shillings for your groceries. So when you're paying Kenyans 20,000 shillings, what are they supposed to do? Are they supposed to eat, pay school fees, pay for all of the other things that we need to pay, housing, water, electricity, or are they supposed to eat? Which one is it?
I think what just
sorry, let me just say one more thing. So the first thing has to be living wages. That has to be something that is considered. And I think Kenyans are also extremely tired of hearing about investors, because we have had investors since before we had independence. So if how much more suitable can we make the environment for investors? Investors are making a killing. Americans, Chinese, Europeans, no matter who it is, they are making a killing from our economy. We cannot make our economy any more suitable or amenable for them. What we need is imaginative leaders who know how to create living wages, to create jobs, and to create living wages. That has to be the. Let me yield there and hear your answer.
If I get to your first question, you have gone. Can I start with the last one and then I move to the? I know you say you have had investors for all people, investors coming, and they're taking so much from Kenya. Where are they? Where are they? Why are they taking so much from this country? Yeah, you have said the government systems is true. Maybe they have not worked for us since colonial times, and that is why our parents had to go and fight the Muzungus and remove them from our country. Yes, the systems have not worked for us. And I think the conversation we are having is very important now. We all need to go back to the drawing board and look at everything clearly and take what works for us, not what people tell us that works for us. This conversation is a very good conversation. But everyone in this country has to take responsibility. It's not just the leaders. Yeah, everyone, from a person who is employed as a sweeper